What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching our magic review on A Piece of My Mind by Michael Murray. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment on any questions that you have about the product I'm reviewing or anything you'd like to see in the future. Let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss a video or a review. A Piece of My Mind is a mentalism book by Michael Murray. It's 264 pages and it is packed full of amazing content, working material, and all of the creative thinking that Michael has put into existing principles, as well as a lot of new things that you will not have found anywhere else. Magic Orthodoxy did a book review on this, and he called it a classic of mentalism. And although this book isn't that old, when you think of classics, you think of the 13 Steps, you think of Prism or the Color series by Max Maven. However, the amount of content in this and how good it is, I would have to agree that this is a classic in mentalism. The quality on this, so this is by Hairsign Press. There was a hardcover book that was a collector's edition. This one is the soft cover, but the quality here, it's phenomenal. All of Hairsign Press's books are all very good. You have black and white photos where photos are necessary for explaining a method. I'll flash it quickly just so you can see, but I don't want to obviously do that long enough where I'm exposing things or giving away content of the book that needs to be purchased. The price on this is $75, worth every penny. Or you can pick this up in PDF form. I think it's $60, I believe. 60 or 65. I'm pretty sure it's 60. So if that's your thing, if you want to do the digital version, read it on your phone, your tablet, or an e-reader, then you have that option as well. I personally, I like having the physical copy. So 75, I think that was a great price for this. I'll go through the table of contents. Well, not all of it. There's a lot in here. So you have the introductions. There's a foreword by Mark Eldson, Peter Turner, Stephen Shaw. Talks a bit about Michael Murray. You have routines, Tattletaled, which is amazing. Brave New World, ATM, Sublime Influence Evolution, Daylight Robbery, Between the Lines, Pause for Thought. So these are essays, some ideas. You have the inversion technique, making mentalism memorable, which I think is huge in mentalism. On the level, spectator as a mind reader. So Michael has presented a number of ways in where you can actually have the spectator become the star of the show. Going propless. So what does a mentalist do? Dave's pin, Picasso. Dave's pin is a great routine. Some thoughts on billet work. Why write down a thought? That's a good essay. The circle of truth, crossword. Principles within mentalism. What are principles? Small but deadly. The universal force technique, Cal Ender. That's also very good. Springboard. I think Springboard is almost worth the price of the book alone. That is an amazing principle. I don't really know how to explain it, but it also has to do with having it so that your spectator is the mind reader. And there are a number of things in here where the method is so well put together that you're able to have the spectator read your mind or predict your card or things like that, and then you can also go on to reveal theirs. So there's also like a double ending, I guess, for lack of a better term. Michael's a very creative person. Everything that I have from him, whether it is a prop or a tool, or now this book, I have a couple other pieces of literature that he's put out, and it's all so good. I can't go into too much detail on what's in here, and I know with review that's kind of the idea, is that you talk about what's in play here, but there's so much that if I went into detail on all of this, this would be a 2-hour review. And you have variety in here, right? There's some book tests, there's some propless mentalism, there are ways of retrieving and extracting information, as well as different ways to reveal and present what you're going to do. There's some card magic in here, or not, sorry, not card magic, card mentalism. And there's kind of the ongoing battle of, do cards have a place in mentalism, right? And I think they do. I think they do. There's magic mentalism with cards, and then there's mentalism with cards, and I think that there is a difference. And the card work in here, I think, is suited perfectly for mentalism. There's also some pre-show work in here, not a lot, but for those who kind of steer away from pre-show or don't like the idea of it, I think that this could change your thoughts on that. It did for me anyway. There is also some dual reality, and again, same thing. It changed my outlook on that. You know, normally I had no interest in doing certain things like pre-show or dual reality, or a lot of the stuff that's really bold, and it's risky, right? Because it's not guaranteed. But the way that Michael talks about a lot of this stuff is that even if it's not guaranteed, he gives you tools to still hold the confidence and to keep things going in a different direction. So in the end, you are still going to come out looking like everything went as planned, everything worked out. And I think that's one of the key things in mentalism. A lot of the strongest mentalism requires some bold moves, or not moves, but some bold approaches and some risk, right? And it's not always guaranteed to work. When it hits hard. But when it doesn't hit, if you're able to steer around that and still carry on with, you know, your performance and your show or whatever you're doing, then that's good. And I think that a lot of the mentalism out there that is taught is surefire. And while that's great, there are times when an impromptu performance is so much stronger. And if you can just have the ability to keep that going, then I think that that kind of sets you apart from some of the other mentalism out there. That's where I think Michael has taught me a lot, and reading this book has taught me a lot, is it's made me more confident in just doing things like cold reading or turning a miss into a hit, or making it seem like it wasn't part of the routine at all. Whereas before, if something didn't hit, I'd kind of be like, and I honestly, I didn't know where to go from there. So I find that I have improved immensely with things like that, and I owe a huge part of that to this book. Who would use this? This is a great book for any mentalist. It's not beginner material. It's not overly complicated or anything. I think that you should know some of the basic principles in mentalism, and know some routines, and have kind of an introduction into mentalism before you jump into something like this, because this is going to help you advance. This is going to help you become a better mentalist, but I don't think this is a place to start. You don't have to be an intermediate or an advanced mentalist to get this, but I think that this just really helps you build up your mentalism abilities or skills, or whatever you want to call it. I think that any mentalist should pick this up, whether you're new to mentalism or you've been doing it your entire life. I think that anybody will benefit from this book. Is it worth the price? I've already said I feel like it's worth every penny. Pros and cons, I honestly don't have any negatives. This book doesn't have filler. It's not just a bunch of routines and then some filler in there to make the book thicker. You have your routines. They're all very, very good routines. But then you have essays and written lectures. All pros for me, no negatives. With that said, I know this review is a little bit vague. I'm trying to express my thoughts on the book and the way that I feel about the book and what I got out of it, because that's been my experience. I can't go into too much detail on what's in here, or we'd be here forever. So with that, I hope that helped. I hope that you got something out of this, but I would highly recommend checking this book out. Go pick it up. I'll leave links in the description below. And with that, We'll see you at the next review.